Picture this: Sarah and Mark, a young couple, bought their dream starter home. They poured love, sweat, and savings into making it theirs. 5 years later, ready to upsize, they listed it, expecting a solid profit. But the offers came in stubbornly low, far below their expectations, and significantly under what comparable homes in the area were fetching. They were baffled. What went wrong? They hadn't made any obvious blunders, yet their property's value had silently eroded. Their story, unfortunately, isn't unique. Across countless neighborhoods, homeowners are inadvertently making costly mistakes that chip away at their property's worth, often without even realizing it. These aren't always grand failures; sometimes they're subtle missteps, cumulative decisions, or simply a lack of understanding about what truly drives property value. Industry analysts suggest that these invisible errors can depress a home's market price by 5% to 15%, translating into tens of thousands of dollars lost. Before we dive into these common pitfalls, let's establish a foundational understanding. What exactly is property value? Simply put, it's what a willing buyer would pay a willing seller for a property in a fair, open market. However, this isn't a static number. It's a dynamic estimation influenced by a myriad of factors, both internal to the property and external in the broader market. Real estate economists emphasize that value is ultimately determined by perception and utility. When a lender needs to assess a home's worth, they often rely on a professional appraiser. The Appraisal Institute, a leading professional organization, defines property appraisal as the act of developing an opinion of value for real property. Appraisers typically examine recent comparable sales, the property's condition, location, size, and amenities. They aim to provide an unbiased estimate, a critical figure that underpins lending decisions and, consequently, sale prices. Our journey today isn't just about identifying mistakes, it's about understanding the underlying principles of property value. Each mistake we explore is a direct consequence of misjudging buyer perception or neglecting fundamental drivers of worth. We'll unpack 10 common, yet costly, errors that even savvy homeowners frequently commit, revealing how they impact your most significant asset. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge to safeguard and grow your property's value, transforming potential pitfalls into opportunities. Our first costly mistake is perhaps the most visible: neglected curb appeal. Many homeowners underestimate the power of a first impression. A study by the National Association of Realtors indicates that attractive landscaping and a well-maintained exterior can significantly increase a home's perceived value. However, a patchy lawn, peeling paint, or an overflowing gutter can send an immediate, negative signal to potential buyers, suggesting deeper, underlying problems inside the home. Real estate agents frequently observe what's known as the halo effect in reverse. When the exterior of a home is poorly maintained, buyers tend to assume the interior is in similar disarray. This psychological bias can lead to lower initial offers or, worse, deter potential buyers from even stepping inside. Appraisers, while objective, also factor in the overall condition. A significant lack of exterior maintenance will often result in a lower valuation, even if the interior is pristine. Consider the Johnsons. Their home was structurally sound, with a recently updated kitchen. Yet, their front yard was consistently overgrown, and the exterior trim needed painting. When listing, their agent reported numerous comments about the unkempt appearance. Buyers, perhaps subconsciously, devalued the updated interior due to the neglected exterior. The Johnsons eventually accepted an offer nearly $15,000 below their initial asking price, a direct consequence of delayed, relatively minor outdoor maintenance tasks. Real estate professionals consistently rank curb appeal as one of the highest return on investment improvements for sellers. Simple actions like fresh landscaping, a clean exterior, and a newly painted front door can yield substantial returns. The cost of these improvements is often minimal compared to the value they add. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about signaling care and quality, which directly translates into buyer confidence and, ultimately, a higher sale price. Our second costly mistake involves ignoring minor, seemingly insignificant repairs. A leaky faucet, a flickering light switch, a cracked tile. Individually, these might seem trivial. Yet, collectively, they project an image of neglect and can lead prospective buyers to conclude that the home has not been well maintained. Data from home inspection reports frequently highlights that minor unaddressed issues are often precursors to larger, more expensive problems. Beyond perception, neglecting minor issues often leads to compounding damages. A small roof leak, if ignored, can escalate into significant water damage, mold growth, and structural issues. A persistently leaky pipe can cause rot in cabinetry or flooring. What starts as a $100 fix can quickly become a multi-thousand-dollar repair. Property analysts confirm that these deferred maintenance costs are almost always factored into a buyer's offer, often at an inflated estimate. When buyers tour a home and notice several minor flaws, they don't just add up the cost of fixing each one. Instead, they often apply a buyer's discount, a psychological buffer that assumes more hidden problems exist. A study by the National Association of Home Builders found that buyers consistently overestimate repair costs by 15 to 20% because they factor in the inconvenience and potential for unexpected discoveries. This can lead to significantly lower offers than the actual cost of repairs. Real estate experts advise that proactive, routine maintenance is one of the most effective ways to preserve and enhance property value. Addressing issues as they arise, even seemingly minor ones, prevents them from escalating and becoming deterrents during a sale. Homeowners who consistently maintain their properties often see a smoother sale process, fewer negotiation points, and ultimately, a higher net return on their investment. It's about preserving both function and perception. Our third mistake is overpersonalization. While making a house a home is essential, some homeowners go too far, implementing highly specific design choices, niche renovations, or bold color schemes that appeal only to their unique tastes. While a buyer might appreciate a personalized touch, an overly distinctive property often alienates a broad spectrum of potential buyers, making it harder to envision themselves living in the space. The core issue with overpersonalization is that it narrows the property's appeal. When fewer buyers are interested, the demand for the property decreases, inevitably impacting its market value. Real estate market data shows that neutral, updated interiors generally sell faster and for higher prices than homes requiring extensive depersonalization or renovation to suit new tastes. The more unique a feature, the smaller the potential buyer pool becomes. Take the example of Mr. Henderson, who installed a custom purple kitchen, purple cabinets, purple countertops, even purple appliances. While he adored it, every prospective buyer expressed a desire to immediately rip it out. The cost of replacing the entire kitchen was estimated at over $25,000, a figure that buyers deducted directly from their offers, often adding a buffer for inconvenience. His unique vision ultimately cost him a significant chunk of his potential sale profit. Experts in property staging and sales consistently recommend aiming for broad appeal when considering renovations or decorative choices, particularly if selling within a few years. Neutral color palettes, classic finishes, and versatile layouts allow potential buyers to easily visualize their own belongings and style within the space. This approach maximizes the pool of interested parties, fostering competition and driving up offers. It's not about being bland, but about being broadly appealing. Our fourth costly mistake stems from well-intentioned but often misguided DIY projects. While tackling home improvements yourself can save money, poorly executed DIY work can severely diminish property value. An improperly installed floor, a crooked tile job, or shoddy electrical work not only looks bad but also raises serious concerns about safety and structural integrity. Home inspectors are trained to spot such amateur work, often red-flagging issues that require professional remediation. The problem with DIY gone wrong is not just the initial poor quality, it's the cost to correct. Buyers, and subsequently appraisers, will factor in not only the cost of hiring a professional to do the job properly but also the cost of undoing the shoddy work first. This can be significantly more expensive than simply hiring a professional initially. A recent survey of contractors indicated that fixing DIY mistakes often costs 1.5 to 2 times more than original professional installation. Consider Mark, who decided to build a deck himself to save money. He meticulously followed online tutorials but lacked professional experience. The result, a deck that wasn't quite level, had uneven spacing between boards, and lacked proper waterproofing. During the home inspection, the deck was flagged as unsafe and a potential water intrusion risk. Buyers demanded a $10,000 credit to demolish and rebuild it, wiping out any initial savings Mark had hoped to achieve. Real estate and home improvement specialists consistently advise homeowners to realistically assess their skills and the complexity of a project. For structural, electrical, plumbing, or any project requiring permits and specialized knowledge, professional help is almost always a wise investment. The long-term value preservation and safety far outweigh the upfront cost. It's better to pay once for quality work than twice to fix amateur mistakes. Our fifth costly mistake is neglecting neighborhood trends. Property value isn't just about the four walls of your home, it's profoundly influenced by its surrounding environment. Homeowners who fail to understand the evolving dynamics of their neighborhood, new developments, school district changes, shifts in demographics, or impending commercial projects, can make decisions that inadvertently devalue their property or miss opportunities for growth. The adage location, location, location remains a cornerstone of real estate valuation. This isn't merely about geography but about the quality and trajectory of the immediate and wider community. Appraisers rigorously compare properties within the same submarket, heavily weighting factors like proximity to amenities, quality of schools, crime rates, and future development plans. A decline in any of these external factors can lead to a direct depreciation in property value. Sarah and Mike had owned their quiet suburban home for decades. They loved the peace and quiet. Unbeknownst to them, the undeveloped plot behind their house was zoned for a large retail complex. When construction began, traffic increased dramatically, and the serene view was replaced by a bustling parking lot. Their property value, once stable, saw an immediate dip of over 10%, as potential buyers were deterred by the increased noise and activity directly adjacent to their property. Staying informed about local zoning changes, proposed developments, and community projects is crucial. Attending local council meetings, reading community newsletters, and engaging with neighborhood associations can provide vital intelligence. This foresight allows homeowners to anticipate changes that might affect their property's value, enabling them to make timely decisions, whether it's investing in soundproofing or choosing the optimal time to sell. Knowledge of neighborhood trends is power. Our sixth costly mistake is ignoring crucial market signals. The real estate market is rarely static. It's a dynamic ecosystem influenced by interest rates, inventory levels, economic indicators, and seasonal trends. Homeowners who fail to pay attention to these broader economic forces risk listing their property at the wrong time, at an inappropriate price, or making investment decisions out of sync with current conditions. A common misunderstanding is confusing price with value. Price is what a seller asks, or what a buyer pays. Value, as we discussed, is the unbiased, objective opinion of worth. When market signals are ignored, sellers often set an aspirational price that doesn't align with current market value. Real estate economists affirm that overpriced homes sit longer on the market, often leading to multiple price reductions, which can signal desperation and ultimately result in selling for less than market value. Eliza listed her condo just as interest rates began to climb, and inventory in her building was increasing. Despite her agent's advice, she insisted on a price 10% higher than recent comparable sales, believing her upgrades justified it. After 90 days with minimal showings and no offers, she slowly dropped the price, each reduction highlighting the initial overvaluation. She eventually sold it for 5% below what she likely would have received had she priced it correctly from the start, a loss of nearly $20,000. For homeowners, understanding the rhythm of the market is paramount. This means consulting with experienced local real estate agents, tracking local news, and monitoring interest rate forecasts. Timing the market perfectly is challenging, but understanding general trends, whether it's a seller's market, buyer's market, or balanced market, can inform strategic decisions regarding renovations, pricing, and when to list. It's about making data-driven choices, not emotional ones. Our seventh costly mistake is over-improving a property for its specific neighborhood. While upgrades generally add value, there's a ceiling to what buyers in a particular area are willing to pay. Investing in luxury finishes, high-end appliances, or extensive additions that far exceed the standard for comparable homes in your immediate vicinity can result in poor return on investment. This phenomenon is often termed buying the most expensive house on the street. This mistake directly violates the principle of conformity in real estate appraisal. This principle states that a property tends to achieve its maximum value when it conforms to the standards of its surrounding properties. Homes that are significantly overimproved for their area will struggle to achieve a commensurate sale price because comparable properties, which determine market value, simply won't support such a high valuation. Appraisers look for homogeneity. The Millers installed a lavish, custom-designed infinity pool with a waterfall and smart home integration in their modest suburban backyard. The cost exceeded $100,000. While impressive, similar homes in their area rarely had pools, and those that did were much simpler. When they listed, buyers were not willing to pay the premium for such an elaborate feature, often citing maintenance costs. They recouped less than 30% of their investment, effectively losing over $70,000 in potential value. Before undertaking any major renovation, particularly those that push the boundaries for your neighborhood, research is paramount. Consult with local real estate agents and appraisers to understand typical home values, preferred features, and average renovation returns in your specific submarket. It's about making smart, strategic upgrades that align with buyer expectations and neighborhood standards, ensuring your investment enhances, rather than diminishes, your property's value. Our eighth costly mistake involves neglecting proper permitting and overlooking potential legal issues. Many homeowners undertake renovations without obtaining necessary permits, often to save time or money. However, unpermitted work can lead to significant problems during a sale, as it may not meet local building codes, could be unsafe, and often requires costly retroactive permits or even demolition and rebuilding to legalize. Boundary disputes or unrecorded easements are also lurking legal traps. Lenders and buyers' insurance companies are wary of unpermitted work. If an appraiser identifies it, or if a buyer's agent discovers it during due diligence, the sale can be jeopardized. Most jurisdictions require permits for structural changes, electrical work, plumbing modifications, and additions. Without proper permits, the legal square footage of a home may be challenged, impacting its valuation. The legal burden often falls on the seller to rectify these issues, delaying sales and adding expense. The Smiths converted their garage into a third bathroom without obtaining any permits. It looked great to them, but during the sale, the home inspector immediately flagged it as unpermitted work. The city demanded a full inspection, which revealed improper ventilation and non-compliant electrical wiring. The Smiths had to pay thousands to bring it up to code and acquire retrospective permits, delaying their closing by over 2 months and costing them thousands in holding costs and fines. Always consult your local building department to understand permit requirements before starting any significant home project. Similarly, ensuring your property's boundaries are clear and there are no hidden easements or encroachments is vital. A property attorney or surveyor can help. Addressing these potential legal and permitting issues proactively ensures a smooth transaction and protects your property's value from unforeseen challenges down the line. Our ninth costly mistake centers on poor layout and flow. While it's difficult to fundamentally change a home's structure, some homeowners create or tolerate dysfunctional layouts. Awkward room transitions, inefficient use of space, or a lack of logical flow between living areas can significantly detract from a property's appeal and functionality. Modern buyers highly prioritize open, intuitive floor plans that accommodate contemporary lifestyles. Real estate research consistently shows that functionality is a major selling point. Homes with a clear separation of private and public spaces, well-defined entryways, and smooth transitions between rooms are often perceived as more valuable. Conversely, a house where the bathroom opens directly into the kitchen, or where the master bedroom is accessed through another bedroom, will almost certainly receive lower offers, as buyers immediately anticipate the cost and inconvenience of remediation. The Browns purchased a large home with many small, disconnected rooms, a common design from an older era. Instead of opening up the space, they exacerbated the problem by adding non-load-bearing walls to create even more defined, but smaller, areas. When they listed, buyers repeatedly commented on the labyrinthine feel and the lack of natural light penetration. Despite its size, the poor flow led to offers that were more aligned with smaller, but better designed, homes, a loss of at least $30,000. While major structural changes can be expensive, homeowners can often improve flow through strategic, smaller interventions. Removing non-load-bearing walls, widening doorways, or even simply rearranging furniture can significantly enhance the perception of space and movement. Consulting with an interior designer or an architect can provide cost-effective solutions to improve a home's functionality and appeal, making it feel more modern and spacious without breaking the bank. Our 10th and final costly mistake is neglecting proper home staging. Many sellers believe a buyer can look past their personal clutter or an empty, uninviting space. However, professional home stagers and real estate agents universally agree that staging is crucial. It transforms a house into a desirable lifestyle, allowing buyers to emotionally connect with the property and envision themselves living there. Without it, homes often sit longer and sell for less. The goal of staging is to highlight a home's best features, maximize space, and create a broad, inviting appeal. This involves depersonalizing, decluttering, repairing minor flaws, and strategically arranging furniture and decor. The Real Estate Staging Association reports that staged homes sell 7 to 17% faster and for 6 to 20% more on average than unstaged homes. This investment in presentation clearly translates into tangible financial benefits for sellers. When the Wilsons decided to sell their home after their children moved out, they listed it empty, reasoning buyers could better visualize their own things. However, buyers struggled to understand room dimensions and functions. The empty rooms felt cold and uninviting. After 3 months of no offers, their agent convinced them to professionally stage. Within 2 weeks, they had multiple offers, selling for $18,000 above their initial highest offer, a direct result of showcasing the home's potential. Consider professional staging not as an expense, but as an investment. Even if a full professional staging isn't feasible, decluttering, deep cleaning, depersonalizing, and making minor cosmetic updates can have a similar, albeit smaller, impact. The goal is to create a neutral, aspirational environment that allows the majority of buyers to emotionally connect and see themselves living happily in the space. It's about selling a dream, not just a house. So, what's the aha moment here? It's the realization that property value isn't a passive outcome of market forces alone. It's actively shaped by the countless decisions, big and small, conscious and unconscious, that homeowners make. The common thread running through all these costly mistakes is a failure to consistently view your property not just as a home, but as a significant financial asset that requires strategic management and protection. The difference between homeowners who see their property value soar and those who experience silent erosion often lies in their approach. The successful homeowner is proactive, diligently maintaining their property, making informed renovation choices, staying attuned to neighborhood and market dynamics, adhering to legal requirements, and presenting their home optimally when it's time to sell. They understand that every decision has a ripple effect on their investment. This isn't about constant, expensive renovations. It's about smart, strategic preservation. Industry experts consistently advise that even modest, consistent efforts in maintenance and thoughtful decision-making yield significant long-term returns. By avoiding these 10 costly mistakes, you're not just preventing loss, you're actively building equity, enhancing your financial future, and ensuring your property truly works for you, rather than against you. Let's recap the 10 costly mistakes we've explored today. From the easily overlooked exterior to the complex nuances of market timing, each point offers a crucial lesson in property stewardship. By internalizing these insights, you gain a powerful toolkit to protect and grow your most valuable asset. Remember, foresight and attention to detail are your best allies in the dynamic world of real estate. The stories of Sarah, Mark, the Johnsons, Mr. Henderson, and countless others serve as powerful reminders. Property value isn't just about appreciation, it's about active preservation against common, avoidable errors. Armed with this knowledge, you are better positioned to navigate the complexities of homeownership, turning potential losses into strategic gains. Your home is more than just a place to live, it's a significant financial instrument. Treat it as such, and it will reward you.